Hello, everyone. Understanding why your clients leave, the real reasons, the unstated reasons, the reasons you will not find in a satisfaction study or even a typical attrition study. This is what we're going to talk about. And by the end of this short video, you will understand how to get there as well. Have you ever conducted an attrition study only to get those obvious, simplistic, surface answers? I know I have. We tried everything to find good, actionable insights, something our companies could really use, something more than price or I just didn't like it, but they rarely came. I talked to others in our industry and found they experienced the exact same thing. One friend even told me they just stopped asking the questions, but that's not the right answer. But this really is an important issue. We just can't ignore it. A study by the Harvard Business Review found that when retention increases 5%, profits can increase 25 to 95%. But why do an attrition study when we already do a satisfaction study? Doesn't that tell me why customers leave if we don't satisfy them? Well, maybe. The problem is satisfied customers leave. Okay, not all of them, but enough to know that we can't rely on satisfaction studies alone. Sometimes people leave not due to dissatisfaction, but due to changing needs. They may still feel we're good at what we do, but just not as relevant for them anymore. For example, a DIY investor may feel like they need financial assistance when they get closer to retirement. That doesn't mean they're not satisfied with their DIY broker. In fact, they may even recommend the DIY broker to someone younger. I've seen this happen. But they may still leave you for an advisor. So don't we want to know those reasons why they selected the other service? Maybe you have what they're looking for. They just don't know it. Service breaks are a frequent reason for attrition, but they are not typically included in satisfaction studies either. This is just one more reason why we need to go beyond satisfaction studies. But the biggest reason why satisfaction studies or traditional attrition studies don't tell us what we need to know, why they give us simplistic, unhelpful, surface answers, is that the customer may not even know the real reason. This isn't me saying this. This is Nobel Prize-winning economists. Most impressions and thoughts arise in your conscious experience without you knowing how they got there. Decisions are made based on emotion and justified rationally. David Ogilvy, one of the greatest advertising minds of this generation, had this figured out a long time ago. Consumers don't think how they feel, say what they think, or do what they say. So with all this, how do we discover the real reasons for why your customers leave? As I was rereading Built to Last, it hit me. The intro describes their research approach. Quote, the critical issues are what's different about these companies, what distinguishes one set of companies from another. As described in Built to Last, if we only study visionary companies, we might find that they all have buildings. But of course, that doesn't tell us anything. Instead, we need to compare the visionary companies to the others. It's the same with retention. We don't want to ask only those who left. We need to compare them to those who are loyal and remain. And now we're getting to it. It's all about comparison. In other studies, we compare users to non-users, segment 1 to segment 2, those that have seen our ads versus those who have not, test versus control. When we build analytical models, we are always comparing to something, independent variables to dependent variables. It is that comparison that gives us the insights. We do it all the time, except when we ask clients why they leave. With defection detection, we compare those who leave to those who stay. It's a simple concept. Let me show you how it works. Now, this is a very simplified example to illustrate how we do this, but it's based on a real study. We can ask those who leave to evaluate us on different topics. In this case, they rate us poorly on price. So we might conclude that price played a major reason why customers left. But wait, those who remained with us also evaluated us just as poorly on price. But they remained. So what's going on? Now we know that it can't be just about price. Perhaps they think our price is high, but we know something else is going on. Digging deeper, we see big differences between these two groups on customer service dimensions. This, as well as other corroborating metrics within the study, reveal that although they thought price might be high, most left due to poor customer service. Poor customer service was the trigger. Notice what we did here. Our findings changed 180 degrees. If we only interviewed defectors, we would have concluded that this was driven by price and customer service had a lower impact. Good thing we did the study this way. Fixing poor customer service is a lot less expensive than lowering prices. Now for those analytic types, when we first tested this method, we used discriminant analysis to identify the drivers of attrition. But discriminant analysis produces coefficients, and coefficients are much more difficult to explain to management. These gap scores that I showed here produce essentially the same results. But presenting results this way is much more intuitive to management. Therefore, they're more likely to understand and trust the findings. But wait, there's more. Okay, just how to do that. Using the same process, unlike any other attrition study approach, we can build in all of these topics. What attrition process do you know that compares and contrasts actual experience, such as was the customer greeted when they entered, or even brand personality and customer attitudes? Again, it's these comparisons between those who attrite and those who remain that creates the insights. Most just ask, why did you leave? Now, just a couple of tips for executing this process, a few lessons we've learned. Specific metrics are easier for management to take action upon. The term customer service can mean a lot of things and different things to different people. So we need to be specific so that management knows where to focus their efforts. Now with these issues, it's clear what we need to do to fix the problem. But here's the challenge. There could be thousands of things we could add to the study. And of course, we can't add everything. So what do? We need to zero in on the likely candidates. We do this by generating hypotheses. We can generate these hypotheses many different ways. Reviewing the NPS comments among detractors does not take much time, and we can learn a lot about what to build into the study from them. If we don't have this type of data, we can always go out in a qualitative setting to generate hypotheses. After all, us humans are very good at telling us what we don't like. Okay, we've generated hypotheses, we've collected the data, we've made the comparisons with those who are still customers. As you might expect, we've generated a lot of data. But now, let's put it all together so that our management can quickly and easily see where to focus their resources. This method will identify drivers of attrition, but we also have the data to determine the drivers of delight. As you'll see, these may not be the same, but this approach gives us both. It defines areas of delight, those dimensions that are not expected, but customers are thrilled when they deliver them. It defines those service breaks, those areas that are expected, but if we do well, we're not rewarded, but customers may leave if we fail to provide them. Then, of course, we have the upper right-hand quadrant. These are the issues that help or hurt both attrition and delight. Thus, they're especially important. I love this chart. It provides clear insights as to where to focus. In many cases, this is the key slide in the executive summary. And clarity, not lots of data, is what will get through to management. There is not a predefined defection detection box. Every study is different. Every firm has a different set of potential factors that create attrition. To be successful, we cannot put all firms into a predefined box. We don't drop off a PowerPoint deck and go away, only to charge more if you want more. We are engaged in the project until you get what you need. Because at the end of the day, our job is to add clarity to firms, not just data. If any of this looks good to you, if you want to know more about True North or defection detection, feel free to contact me directly, or you can find contact information for the entire team on our website. With that, thank you and have a good day.